Well, it's great to be with you for the mixed team final. Here in Pyeongtaek for the 2022 World Paralympic Asia Oceania Open Championships. We've got 5 teams in this mixed team event, and we're starting with Korea. 2 women and 1 man. And we start with Jung Yun Shil going for 95 kilos. Well, it's great to see the week that Korea have had. Silver in the women's 73 kg final, silver in the total competition for Jung. So this will be an attempt at 95 kilos. Aiming for 78.45 points. And Jung is successful. 78.45, and that is the standard set for Korea. Well, that was an excellent lift, and that has her away brilliantly. Jung, Asia Oceania bronze medalist previously, and how well she's improved here. On we go to Thailand and Arawan Butpo. Has already helped Thailand today to the silver medal in the women's team competition. Jung was not involved in that for Korea. Butpo going for 95 here. Slightly lighter body weight, which means more points. 79.9, I make it. The only woman in the Thailand team. Bronze in the women's 73 kg final. Bronze in the total competition. Asian Games gold twice in her career. World Championship silver. Great career, still winning major championship medals. This to put Thailand into the lead with that lift of 95, and she's got it 2-1 in her favour. Just one against her. That was on the press with the upward motion, but she's good. She's always good. Lot to be happy for with that. Very good, successful lift for her. 105 will be up next. She's got 95, and she has the lead for Thailand. We're going up in terms of lift weight, not in terms of points. Smooth technique, and certainly we've seen an upward improvement, I think, in terms of the overall quality. We're seeing a lot less fouls given. So next up for Uzbekistan 2, Kudratoy Toshpolatova, going for 105. This will be worth 89.5 points for Uzbekistan, who've entered 2 teams into this. She had a very good competition. Came very close to doing even better. Silver medal in both the 67 kg, the traditional best lift, and the total. Finished behind Tan Yu Zhao in that. Even one missed attempt by Tan would have won her gold in the total competition, but that didn't come to pass. But she's had a really tremendous competition anyway. Her first regional championship, her first continental championship, her debut coming in Tbilisi at the Worlds, where she finished 11th. Anvar Kodjaev is her coach. Big prospects for her here. 105. This for a very, very useful score, and she's got that. It is a good lift. Well, she wasted no time with that. The 3 white lights, the white out. And that was a really good, comprehensive list by her. And that has her in the lead for Uzbekistan 2. Now, Uzbekistan 1. It's Rusa Kusieva, 105. And this would put Uzbekistan 1 into the lead. This is worth 91.3 points. Bronze for Rusa Kusieva in the 61 kg final. She has been the Asia Oceania and the Asian Games champion, the world silver medalist, the Paralympic silver medalist. Brilliant career up to this point, lifting 105. And that's a good lift for Rusa Kusieva. Looking for another medal to add to her bronze here, just edged out by Liao Liei in the very final round of her individual final. Got that, good lift, 105. And that's a strong start for her. Hello to everyone at home. We know you're watching. So good start for Uzbekistan, for both their teams. The standings you can see, Uzbekistan 1 and 2 right now. Good chance of making some progress. They both have 1 woman in their team, and it's a similar story for the United Arab Emirates, who are coming up now. Mohammed Khamis Khalaf. None of this team were involved in the men's success earlier, and he's aiming for 200 points here, which will be worth 100 and 23.7, so he's going big, they're going big straight away. Bronze in the men's 97 kilo final for Mohammed Khamis Khalaf, going for 200 here. The Paralympic champion in Rio. Silver at 2 World Championships. He's been Asian Games champion before as well. This for a considerable lead. And at 200 he's got it. It's 2-1 in his favour. The one against from the right side referee, that was for the stop sequence around the chest, but he's got that. 123, and that's a good lead. Only Korea have got 2 women. Out of their 3, the rest have got 2 men and 1 woman. But that's a nice lift from him. So United Arab Emirates lead, 123.7 points. Uzbekistan second and third. Thailand 4, Korea 5. Lee Hyun-jung is next for Korea. Here she comes, aiming for 105. Bronze in the total competition. Bronze in the traditional, the best lift in the women's over 86 kilo final the other day. The reigning Asian Games champion, silver previously in the Asia Oceania Championships. 4th in the 2014 Worlds in Dubai. This would be worth 80.25 to send Korea into the lead for the moment on 158.7. Lee Hyun-jung. Well, that looks good and clean, and it is a good lift for Lee Hyun-jung. Good progress for her and for Korea, and well within her abilities again. Lee successfully lifted 115 in her individual final, so that was in very many ways very achievable for her. Decent lift, and Korea go top of the standings for the moment, but everybody else has got one lift in hand. Next to come, Saif El Zabi going for 145. This is worth 100 points. Saif Al-Zabi of the United Arab Emirates finished 7th in the 80 kilo final, 5th in the total. This for 105 kilos, the West Asian Games champion. 145, he feels happy, he looks happy, and he has every reason to be. 3 very good reasons to be. Picks up 100 points there, and that's very key for the UAE, who've already won the men's team competition using different athletes. Well, that's a strong lift. We've not seen a miss from anybody yet. In terms of the entire women's competition, we only had, I think, was it 4 misses the entire time? And there are quite a few of you who'll say in the women's competition that they are all misses, but that's a different story. Ola Bergenov for Uzbekistan too, looking to lift 150 here. His first continental regional championships. He finished 11th in the Worlds in Tbilisi at the end of last year. Islam Abdu Rasulov is his coach. $150. And that'll be worth 109 points for Uzbekistan. 2 we've already scored through Kudratoy Toshpolitova. So that for 150. Punched through it really well. And that's a good lift. And that's 3 out of 3 for Ola Bergenov. He scores 109 valuable points. They go up to 198. And Ola Bergenov succeeding very well. He didn't manage to get an attempt. Missed 167, 173 in his individual final. But he's going here for 150. That was a very good mark. And that is his first successful lift of the week. He would have preferred if that wasn't the case. Would have preferred if it was maybe his second successful one. We go on. Thailand, Narong Kasanut, going for 150 here. He's already been involved in the bronze medal matchup. He was competing for Thailand too in the men's team competition, but beaten in the semi-final and then beaten in the bronze medal match. Kasanun going here for 150. This would be worth 109 points. $109.78. Slightly lighter in body weight by half a kilo than Sanjar Olaberganov, so by lifting the same weight he earns marginally more points, so they can make a little bit of ground on Uzbekistan here. So this for 150. And that's good. So Cassidy scores close on 110 points. They're on 189. Korea currently on 158. Uzbekistan too are on 199. And the UAE on 223. We've got one more team to come. Impressive lifting so far. And I mean, as we say a lot in this team competition, you will have generally quite conservative lifting because they don't want to let down the rest of the team. I doubt the teammates would feel that way, but certainly internally it would be a feeling that you'd have UAE leading, Uzbekistan 2 in place number 2, Thailand 3, Korea 4. So Uzbekistan have scored 91 points through Rusa Kusieva. This for Farhad Umirzakov for 112 points, and they'd go up to 203 if he gets this. Umirzakov looks certainly up for it. Had a very good competition. Previously. Fourth in the World Championships, fourth in the Paralympic Games. Didn't register a weight during his competition here, however. So he's keen to get this right, and he has. 3 out of 3 for Umirzakov, and Uzbekistan 1 are looking every bit as competitive as Uzbekistan's other team. And there's a very good crowd here as well, as you can see in the stands and on the floor for this mixed team competition. So they go up beyond 200 points, and Umirzakov with a very, very good lift. So they go into second position, 203.4, behind the United Arab Emirates, but the UAE are going to go now. So UAE are leading in these heats, but Moza Al Zuyudi, the only woman in their team, is about to lift. And this must work for them. Al Zuyudi will be attempting 70 kilos here. And if she gets it, the UAE will definitely progress. This will be worth 63 points. And that would definitely get them over the line. Al Zuyudi, who's already been involved in the women's team event. They were beaten in the bronze medal match, losing out to Australia. Al Zuyudi, who finished 4th in the women's 55 kilo final. Only missed out by a handful of kilos, only about 3 in the end. Al Zuyudi, the West Asian Games champion. This for 70. This to put the UAE through, certainly. She's got it. She has got it. Very good lift. The final 63 points to get them over the top, just to make sure, just to be certain that they wouldn't be turned over. And she made it work, she made it happen. They finish on 287. And a lot of loose change. 287.96. And it's asking a lot, basically, for them to be overtaken at this stage to a point where they will not progress. Next up, Thailand. Pyeongtaek Pyeongtaek, who reached the final of the men's team event, beaten in the decider by the United Arab Emirates to pick up a silver medal. Pyeongtaek going for 140 here. It'll be worth 106.75. And they would overtake the UAE to go into top spot. But he has to get this. Fifth in the open competition at 59 kg. In the traditional best lift, where the champions are still crowned, and fifth in the new total lift as well. This will be totally satisfactory if he gets it. Thailand would actually go in front with this, with 140. Can he get the extra 106 points? He can! He can! That's a super lift for Thailand! Well, what a leap! Right up to the top. They go to 296 points. 9 clear of the United Arab Emirates. That was a fabulous lift. It's game on again. Never count anything out in this competition. Korea next to go. Lee Sung-gu will be coming on, attempting 160. So this would be worth 94 points. He was in the men's up to 107 kg final. 4th in the total. 7th in the traditional best lift in that final. Very close to a medal. It's only 3 kilos off taking a top 3 spot in the total lift. So this for 160 for Lee Sung-gu. Formerly 4th in the Asian Youth Games, and Lee will have a bit of a wait here to see how he's done. And it's a good lift, 2-1 in his favour. The centre referee voting against him on the stop sequence around the chest, but he gets it. .94 additional points for Korea, and now they wait. It won't be the top mark, but they go to 253.20, and they're 3rd out of 3 in the clubhouse, with the 2 Uzbekistans to come. That's a really, really decent lift. Anybody who misses from here on in is going to miss out, I reckon. Standard's been excellent. Kuznedin Usmanov comes now, looking for a lift of 180. That'll be worth 110 points. Would send Uzbekistan up to around 300, and actually I think they'd be the top scorers. Rusa Kuzieva and Farhad Umirzakov have already scored well for Uzbekistan 1. They're ahead of Uzbekistan 2 of the two nations who have yet to have their third and final lift. They've currently scored 203 points. Usmanov, who finished in the bronze medal position in the total lift in the 97 kilo final. Well, he's ploughed through that. 175, which is quite light compared to all three lifts, which were over 200 in his competition, but he's got it, and that's an immense lead. 314.11, and Uzbekistan 1 are number 1 right now in these heats. Kuznedin Usmanov. It's his first major championship. He's medalled here with a bronze, and Uzbekistan will progress, and progress well. They lead, and only Uzbekistan 2 can surpass them. And by the way, Uzbekistan 2 can surpass them. Akror Bozorov. Now, he was looking to do 190 originally, but he has scaled that down to 180. This will be worth 119 points. Originally what he was looking to do, 190, would have been 125, which would be whopping. Well, if he gets this, Uzbekistan 2 progress, and as the top team with 318 points. Bozorov, the silver medalist in the men's 80 kg final, and also took silver in the total lift. And great to see him back. His first major championship in 6 years since picking up bronze in the Paralympic Games in Rio. This is a massive lift. So at the moment, Uzbekistan 2 are in 5th place. They will leap all the way to the top if he gets this. He's aiming for 180. His lightest lift in his own individual final was 200. So you can see how they don't want to take a massive risk because of their teammates. And he's got that 2-1. We have not had a miss yet. 318 points. Uzbekistan 2 go top. The two Uzbekistan teams take the top 2 places in the heats. That was so good. Korea in 5th spot. You will see the results come up now. Korea are out. Korea had a final score of 253. Uzbekistan's two teams progress along with Thailand and the United Arab Emirates to the semi-finals. Korea missed out in the end by 33 points. For a female lifter, or a lift of 45 kilos, let's say. For a man, something like 50. Uzbekistan 2, top of the pile with 318. Uzbekistan 1 in second with 314. Thailand third with 296. United Arab Emirates fourth with 287. Korea fifth, 253. So those are the heats, and the semi-finals will be coming up in a jiffy.
We've got our teams decided. It will be Team Uzbekistan 2, Team Uzbekistan 1, Team Thailand, and Team United Arab Emirates. We just have to figure out now who's going to face off against.
So the draw will come for the semi-finals. Thailand, Uzbekistan 2, Uzbekistan 1 and the UAE. So it's Uzbekistan 2 against Thailand and Uzbekistan 1 against the United Arab Emirates. And those semi-finals are on the way. The lifters will be given a couple more minutes just to rest after the heats, as the rules of World Powerlifting allow. So one way or another, Uzbekistan are going to get a medal, but which team? So the athletes are on the way for this first semi-final. Thailand versus Uzbekistan 2. For Thailand, Arawan Butpo, Narong Kasinun and Amontep Pongsao. Uzbekistan 2, Kudratoy Tospolatova, Sanjar Oloberganov and Akror Bozorov. And they may be Uzbekistan's number 2 team, but they registered the highest score in the heats of 318. Thailand, the 3rd highest score of 296. Well, a lot to look forward to in that semi-final and the other semi-final as well. It's been a high standard week. We've seen certainly some of the best in the world here by a long way. Some athletes in this sport that we can really admire. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely putting it up to the Americas next month and Europe in September and Africa in October to produce the regional championships of this immense quality with these great athletes. And here's some more great athletes. We are seeing Uzbekistan won in shot there, and they in the other semi-final getting prepared to fight off against the United Arab Emirates. Rusa Kusieva for Uzbekistan won, who has been an Asian champion, and those great results at the Worlds and the Paralympic Games. Farhod Umirzakov and Kuznedin Uzmanov also for Uzbekistan won. And for the UAE, Mohammed Kamis Khalaf, Saif Al-Zaibi and Moza Al-Ziyudi. We'll see these a little bit later for semi-final 2. Some great champions in the crowd. Well, we're really looking forward to these 2 contests. And the semi-finals will begin very shortly. So we've seen the athletes. Now we need to see who the referees will be. And the referees will be these 3. Hisaki Yoshida of Japan, Kadir Kamaru-Zaman of Malaysia, and Geraldo Sakamoto of Brazil. Kamaru-Zaman, Yoshida and Sakamoto. And we haven't had a combination like that since the days of Sylvian and Sakamoto. They were good. Still are. So we're all in place for this semi-final. A couple of semi-finals that really, really look tasty. We've seen some good lifting, and actually some good considerate lifting in the competition so far. And it's another new format. They're tweaking this still relatively young team event. Now 3 competitions. Men's, women's and mixed. And previously, as you know, it's been just mixed. But new horizons for this competition. So on the way for the first of the semi-finals, and it is Thailand first of all.
Starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready for powerlifting? The bar is ready. 97 kilos.
So going for 97 kilos is WPPO for Thailand to get some points on the board. Remember, Thailand finished third in the heats behind the two Uzbekistans. What a busy competition she's had. So this will be 81.58 points if she makes it. Kasanun coming next, and then Pyeongtaek. They've decided on that order. Certainly it worked for them in the heats. She lifted 95 in that. That was for just a shade under 80 points, 79.9. WPPO, who's already won the silver in the women's team competition. WPPO already winning bronze here in the 73 kilo final, and also bronze in the total lift. WPPO attempting 97. Asian Games champion twice over. Southeast Asian Games silver most recently. World silver. A couple of Paralympic fourths in her career. She's never finished lower than 6th at the Paralympic Games. 97 then! So has she made it? Yes, she has! What a tremendous lift from WPPO! 97 for Thailand, and that's 81 points for Arawan WPPO. Well, she's up for it and determined that Thailand are going to get into the final. Determination and success. Tries to pull it over. The silver medalist coming now for Uzbekistan 2, and she's aiming for 105. This would be worth 89.5 points and would give an early lead of 8 points for Uzbekistan too if she gets it. So here she comes, aiming for 105. Still got plenty of time. Well, she's made quite the impact in this competition, hasn't she? She's had a tremendous week for Uzbekistan, and Uzbekistan likewise through their female athletes. So Toshpolatova raising that at 105. Well, she was successful in the heats, and she's successful here. The silver medalist in the 67 kilo final. Silver in the total lift as well. And what a strong start. 89.5 points for Uzbekistan too, lifted by Toshpolatova. And they lead Thailand by 8 for the moment. Well, she has been a really tremendous find. You can see there the scores. 89.5 for Uzbekistan too, and they are going to lift next through Ola Bergenov, who will be trying for 150, and that would be worth 109 points. Kasanun will be coming up as well, also for 150. That'll be worth 109 points as well, but a few fractions more. If they've got the calculators out, they might want to ask him, Kasanen, to do 152 or 155. Ola Bergenov coming now, aiming for 150. It was so unfortunate for him not to register a mark during his competition. It's his first continental tilt, having made his major championship debut in Tbilisi. A growing team, very impressive team. So this to add 109 to the mark, and they would go up as close to 200 as you can get almost. They'll be pretty much bang on 199. So yeah, you can get a little bit closer to 200, but not very close. So 150 for Ola Bergenov. And likewise, good lift. 3 out of 3, and they hit 199 points. And if Thailand are successful, They'll go to 191. 198.88 for Uzbekistan too. Oloberganov has done everything that he's been desiring so far. Josh Polatova stayed at 105, Oloberganov stayed at 150, and Bozorov, well, will he stay at 180? We're going to find out shortly. This for 150, which he lifted during the heats Naron Kassanen. So if he gets this, this is worth just a shade over what Oloberganov has done. They are very similar in body weight, but Kassanen is half a kilo lighter, so he picks up almost half a point more. The Southeast Asian champion from 2015 and 2017. Twice an Asian Para Games medalist, 2 bronzes in that. Came very close in Rio, finished 4th there. Kassanen finishing 5th in the men's 65 kilo final here. Lifted 152 at that. He's going for 150 here, so probably this is a wise mark to go for. Any higher and it's probably getting a little bit too tentative. As if this wasn't? Well, 150. He did it last time. Has he done it this time? He got it raised. And it's good, 2-1 in his favour. A good lift. And Thailand are still in the hunt. We have to praise the standard that we've seen so far, because we have seen 19 lifts across the board and they've all been successful. $191.36 they're on. They trail by 7.5 points. And so it comes down to the final lifts on each team. There's the scores on the doors. Uzbekistan 2 leading marginally. So there's a lot on these lifts to come. Amontep Pongsao coming out, and he is indeed going here for 155. Now, in the heats, he lifted 140. So they've looked at the scores, and they've determined that he has to go higher here. This would be worth 118 points. Be forcing Bozorov high. Pongsao lifted 140 in the heats. In the men's finally lifted 145. And in the men's semi-final 140, so he's going big here. 155 for Pongsao. Big moment. Pongsao lifted 158 in his 59 kilo final. He did brilliantly in that competition. Couple of 5th places there, and it's a good lift! Oh, it's a good lift, and Thailand have a big chance of making the final. Pongsao has delivered his 2nd heaviest lift of the week, and he went high among the weights in which he performed so strongly in his decider. Thailand needed him to deliver for their team, and he has. The Southeast Asian Games, the ASEAN Para Games silver medalist. And if Thailand make the final, he will get massive thanks for it. Thailand are on 309.54. Uzbekistan are just about on 199. And Bozorov going for 180 again, which should be worth 119 points. And that would get them into the final, marginally. But he has to get this lift. And remember, in his individual final, how magnificently he performed. 200, 208, 211. Won silver in that 80 kg final, won silver in the total lift as well. And this to put Uzbekistan 2 into the final. Bozorov 180. Big moment. Slight food and drink for him. 2-1. He's done it. And Uzbekistan 2 are into the final. They finish with 318 points. Thailand 309.5. Uzbekistan have made it. Uzbekistan 2. 318 dead, just as they did in the heats. And Uzbekistan will definitely win a medal. We know that now. But will they win 2 medals? We'll see. 2 sets of medals. Well, that was superb. So Uzbekistan 2 are in the final. Toshpolatova, Oloberganov, Bozorov. They are all there. Butpo, Kasanon and Pongsao for Thailand into the bronze medal match. So here we go. It's Uzbekistan 1 against the United Arab Emirates. And kicking off, it is Ruza Kusieva. Paralympic silver medalist, world silver medalist, has been Asian champion, Asian Games champion. Bronze here in the individual, and she's going for 106. Which is up on what she went for last time by a kilo. This is for 92.17 points. Face lift for 106, and she's got it. Ruza Kusieva gets the 3 white lights. And Uzbekistan have their foundation. It's really good. And Uzbekistan 1 are on their way. That's a kilo more than last time. That's a really good get by Rusikozieva. So now Mohammed Kamis Kalaf going for 210. This is quite a rise from what he went for in the previous round as well. They're looking to open up a large lead. This will be worth 129 points. So 210 for Kalaf. He lifted a very impressive 200 kilos in the heat. This at 210 is worth 130 points basically. But Uzbekistan have sent their lady out first. United Arab Emirates are doing it last. It's Kalaf for 210. And he's got it! 3 out of 3 for Mohammed Kamis Kalaf. He has done his job, he's done his duty for the UAE, the host nation, for next year's World Championship. A very strong lift from Kalaf, the bronze medalist in the men's 97 kilo final. He did so well there, 3 out of 3 in his favour. What an effort from the Rio Paralympic champion and the world silver medalist from 2017 in Mexico City. Saif Alzabi will go next, aiming for 155. Amir Zakov will go then for Uzbekistan 179. Alzabi went for 144 last time, but this 155 significantly. This will be worth 107.45 points. And their lead will be very big, even if Uzbekistan have a lift in hand to come. They'd be on 236. Uzbekistan on 92 with an extra lift remaining. But it's interesting that the UAE have gone up on both occasions by 10 kilos. So Kalaf went up by 6 points, over 6 points from his heats lift, and Alzabi is aiming for 7.5 more points. $155 for Saif Alzabi. Still plenty of time left in the clock, but he decided to go for it early. He had the confidence to do it, and he has got the lift. It is a big lead. Uzbekistan have a fight on their hands to make it an all-Uzbek final. Tremendous by Alzabi. He is delivering the goods. Alzabi, who finished in 6th spot in the end in the men's 80 kilo final. And in terms of the overall weight, was in 5th spot. The total. Just an extra element when you're doing it for your teammates, when you're doing it for your team. So we have one important lift coming from Umir Zakov, because he has to get this. He's going for 179 here, so he's added 2 to his lift from the heats. So going here for 179. That'd be worth 113 points all told. We'll definitely cut the gap. So right now the UAE are on 237 points, and this would make it 205 roughly for Uzbekistan. And he's gone and done the lift, and he's got the lift. Ha ha! Just like that! I swear when that was going down on the rack, the white lights were already up. He's got that. Tremendous. No stopping him. Umir Zakov. Tremendous lift. They're on 205.6. And the UAE have got Uzbekistan breathing down the neck again. Blink and you miss it. Lift that would yield just around 110 points, so if he gets that, Uzbekistan win. Al-Sayudi finished 4th in her final here. Really good competitor. The West Asian Games champion, 5th in the Asian Games 4 years ago, based in Fujairah. Her coach is Arif Kiran. You might remember her twin sister Mariam Al-Ziyudi. This for 72. This to yield 65.5 points. And they would go above 300, and it would basically, again, put the pressure back on Uzbekistan, which is there anyway. So can she get this lift for 72 kilos? Still plenty of time on the clock. Yes, she has! 2 out of 3 in her favour. Oh, that's superb. What joy! 65 points, valuable points, and they finish with exactly 303. That is the target set for Uzbekistan, who currently are on around 205. UAE can still make the final. They have started something good. Uzbekistan, if we add Emirszakov's tally there, are on 205. So, Usmanov is going for 178. This is a reduction on what he's done in previous rounds, mainly because he doesn't need to go to 180 or 190. This would be 109 points, and they would be into the final. More or less, he could lift 160 and still reach the final. But coming here for 178. This for 109 points. This to send Uzbekistan into the final. And both their teams would have made it. And Usmanov has done it! It's Uzbekistan against Uzbekistan in the final. And there's no doubt about that at all. .315, the final tally for Uzbekistan won. 305.1. The UAE scored 303. So the two Uzbekistan teams are into the decider. This is going to be a really interesting final. It's Thailand against the UAE in the bronze medal match. And there was only 8.5 points between them in the heats. Quite tight in the end, but Uzbekistan have made it. Rusa Kusieva, Farhad Umirzakov and Kuznedin Usmanov. They'll face off against Tospolitova, Oleberganov and Bozarov in a Uzbek derby. it, and we'll be introduced to all the various athletes again for the medal matchups in the mixed team event in Pyeongtaek 2022.
The teams competing in the mixed team event. Bronze medal. Please welcome Team Thailand and Team United Arab Emirates.
The matchup for bronze, the United Arab Emirates and Thailand. Arawan Putpo, Naron Kasanun and Amontep Pyeongtaek for Thailand. For the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed Kamis Khalaf, Saif Al-Zaibi and Moza Al-Zuyudi. That the battle for bronze, this the contest for the gold. I'll tell you who's going to win this straight away. It's going to be Uzbekistan, no doubt about it. Here comes Uzbekistan 1 and ready to meet Uzbekistan 2. Bet the atmosphere between these two has been fabulous the past short little while, because here they all are. Uzbekistan 2, Ruza Kuzieva, Farhod Umirzakov and Kuznedin Usmanov. Uzbekistan 2, Kudratoy Toshpolatova, Sanjar Olaberganov and Akror Buzarov. They're ready. This is ready for a tremendous contest.
If we could draw your attention to the big screen, where once again, randomly, choose our technical.
So here we go. Let's find out who the referees are going to be. So here we go. The referees for the mixed team event medal matches will be these three: Olga Prokopyshina, Jenny Ortiz, and Lee Ju-yin. Making their way onto stage, Jenny Ortiz, Olga Prokopyshina, and Lee Ju-jin of Korea. Jenny Ortiz of Colombia, Olga Prokopyshina of Kazakhstan. And we're ready. I think both these contests are actually going to be tremendous. We've got two very, very well matched teams. And it will be Thailand who will go first. This, the bronze medal match. Butpo going for 97. What should be worth 81.5 points, just as she did in the semi-final. Khalaf going for 215. They're sending the big man in straight away. And again, he's adding more kilos to the bar to get more points on the board. So Al Butpo is going for 81 points. Khalaf is going for 133. So here comes Harawan Butpo. What a busy day she's had. She's already lifted 95 and 97 in the earlier rounds in this mixed team competition. And in the women's team event, she lifted 88 and 80. Now she's going big here. She has to go big. Again, 81.5, her target. Lifted 96, 98 and 101 in winning bronze. 2 bronzes in the 73 kilo final and the traditional best lift and the new total. So Butpo is ready. For 97 kilos, has she done it again for Thailand? We may be going to the flags. We're going to the flags, let's see. It's white all the way. 3 white flags for Butpo. Thank you very much. She scores 97. And obviously could go higher, but in the team competition, you're not going to see very many attempts at lifetime bests. So Thailand lead. That was a nice lift. She's had a big day. There's 5 competitive lifts, which is a lot. Kalaf going for 215, having scored 200 in the heats and 210 in the semi-final. Going for 215 here, which would be worth just about 133 points, 132.98. The former Paralympic champion. 2004 and 2016. The Asian Games champion in 2014. The man who won the United Arab Emirates their first ever Paralympics gold. Coached by Tito Kasem the last 30 years. Obviously owes a lot to him. So Kalaf ready at 215. Lifted 216 in his final. Missed 206, missed 210, got 216 and got the bronze as a result. So Kalaf 215. It would be an immense amount. 132 points. Close to the limit, that one. And he's got it. 2-1 in his favour for Kalaf. A very good lift. 132 points. It's an immense lead of 51 for the UAE straight away. Well, that's setting the standard, no doubt about it. He went high. He went very high. And it's all clicking together. Very, very, very well done. 133 points. It is a substantial lead. Thailand have sent out their one woman early, and the UAE always send Musa Al Zayudi out last. Is to build up a big lead and to try and make sure the opposition don't have a chance of playing catch up, but we'll see. Narong Kasanen is next. 152 he's aiming for. Got 150 in the heats, 150 in the semi-final. Looking for a little bit more now. $111 points. He's looking for here. It would put Thailand up to 193. UAE currently on 133. So Kasanen, 152, which is what he got in his individual final. Finished 5th in that. Here he comes. He was holding on to that a long time. But the main bit was all good. And he's got the lift, and there's still, in this mixed team competition, has not been a miss yet, remarkably. 152 for Castellan, that equates to 111 points. And Thailand are up to basically 192. UAE on 133. Castellan has done the job really well. A fine fierce lift when it needed to be, and he added extra kilos onto the bar. Well, he loved that, and a good reason too. Castellan has been successful, and if Al Zaibi is successful, then the UAE go back in front by 50 points. Going for 158 here. Al Zaibi, and again they're adding 3 to the bar, which is an interesting thing to do. He had 155 in the semi-final, 145 in the heats. So everybody's deciding to go up a bit for the later contest. This for 109 and a half. Al Zaibi is ready. .5 for Al Zaibi. Confident here at 158. Oh, he's not got it! It's 2 and against on the press! Well, that's a big lead for Thailand now of around 60 points. They were going to be 50 behind had he got that. 1 lift to go. And he has missed out. They remain on 133. Thailand lead on 193. That's the first miss of the entire competition. That is the 31st lift of this mixed team final and is the first miss. So Thailand lead. And there is 1 lift to go per team. My word. Pong Sao going for 152. Al Zayudi for 76. And Al Zayudi goes now. This would be worth 69 points and would put them back into the lead again. They would have 202. Thailand right now on 193. Musa Al Zayudi is required to get this. This is the moment for Musa Al Zayudi. 4th in the 55 kilo final. She was 3 kilos off the bronze. Got her first lift of 75 in that, but missed 80 twice in this. Al Zayudi has cleared 70 in the heats, 72 in the semi-final, going for 76 now. Al Zaibi's miss means she must get this, otherwise Thailand win the bronze immediately. Al Zayudi 76 to pick up 69 points. Al Zayudi getting it raised, and she's got it. 2-1 in her favour. Well, that's good. That's contentment. And that is 202.2 points. Thailand trail by 10, but with one lift to go. Added a bit more to the bar, but she got it right, and that's actually one of the heaviest lifts of her career. You have to praise that. Pyeongtaek Pyeongtaek coming out now. This is worth 118 points. And if he gets this, Thailand win the bronze. Pyeongtaek has already won the silver medal in the men's competition. And he's now going for 130. They've recalculated this because they know that they don't need as much. This is for 99 points. It would win anyway. Pyeongtaek lifted up to 158 on the way to finishing in 5th spot in the men's 59 kilo final. This, to win the bronze, he only needed 130. And that has done it. Thailand gets the bronze. That was very shrewd. Very, very clever. He didn't need to go high at all. His original idea was to take a couple of kilos down for what he'd lifted in the semi-final, but having seen what had happened elsewhere, gets that lift, 291.9. Obviously, if Al-Zabi had got his lift, then UAE would have been on basically 312. Pyeongtaek, if he'd gone for the full lift and got that, would have been, well, again, about 312. We'd have been down to fractions. It's Thailand who win the bronze. So it's Uzbekistan 2 against Uzbekistan 1 in the final. Congratulations to Uzbekistan. They've won the gold and the silver, but what order? So he starts off with Kudratoy Toshpolitova going for 107 here. Now this is heavier than what she's done previously, just by a couple of kilos, but she's been successful with all her attempts so far. Nobody from Uzbekistan has missed yet. 107 her targets, and this will be for 91.25 points. He's lifted 105 twice. She and Rusa Kusieva, her opponent for the moment, are in adjoining weight divisions, and Toshpolitova is the one further up at 67 kilos, and she's had an absolutely great championships here because Toshpolitova has claimed the silver medal at 67 kg in both the traditional best lift and the total. 108, 111, 114 she lifted in that. Going for 107 kilos, 91.25 points here. The first major championship at continental level. 11th in the worlds at the end of last year. 107 for Toshpolitova. 15 seconds left. Here she comes, 107. Went strongly for that. And it's a good lift. 107 for Tosh Pulatova. 3 white lights. Well, that was very gratifying to see, and the strong woman act as well. You'd like to see everybody get their lifts in this just to see what they'll come up with. 91.3. That's rounded up to job done. 107. A wonder. Changed the lifting order here of Uzbekistan 1, you'll see. Umirzakov is going to go first, Usmanov second, Kuzieva third, so there's no direct comparison with how they're all doing, and that's probably actually very shrewd. Now, Umirzakov left at 179 in the semi-final, 177 in the heats. If they get this right, then it's Uzbekistan 1 who'll be leading for quite a bit. Lifting 183 and attempting 115 points. It would be the most amount of points that Umirzakov has gone for so far. Fourth in the World Championships, fourth in the Paralympic Games. As fruitful a 2021 as he could have had without a medal. At 183, he's got that lifted, and it's good. And that is a lead, 115 to 91. For Uzbekistan's A team. Very, very good discovery. So he is aiming for 116 points here. And that would send Uzbekistan up to 207 points, just about 208. Remember, Uzbekistan 1 right now are on 115.9. So it's quite the leap up for Ola Bergenhoff. He missed 167 and 173 twice in his individual final. Didn't register a mark. It was a wipeout for him in the end. Key moment for him in this final. For 160. For 116 points. And we may be going to the flags. We don't need to! It's a good lift! 3 out of 3 for Ola Bergenhoff! Tremendous lift! Well, we're seeing the big deliveries come now. It's Uzbekistan gold and silver, but what's the order? So now, a big lift coming from Kuznedin Usmanov. He's going for 198 here, and that's worth 121 points. Remember, Uzbekistan are putting their woman lifter last in Ruza Kusieva. So we've no direct comparison to make until the end. Of course, Uzbekistan won, provided everybody gets their lifts, will be ahead all the way. Usmanov's first major championship. And bronze in the total lift in this 97 kilo final. .198 for Usmanov for 121 points. Bozorov will be going big in the last round for Uzbekistan too. But Usmanov is doing that now, 198. Oh no, he's not got it! It's the body sequence, it's 2 and against. Well, that is drastic. Usmanov denied, he doesn't get the 121 points. So Uzbekistan won on 115, Uzbekistan 2, now on 207. Well, it's the body sequence on the bench. Was there a bit of moving around there? It was 2 and against. And, well, look at that for a gap. Bozorov's going to go for 200 shortly. Ruza Kuzieva is going to go for 115. She's going to have to. They've had to make a quick calculation to see what she can do. And she's going to have to go quite big. It's quite a leap. This would be worth exactly 100 points. And they needed to do this. They could have left maybe a few kilos off the bar in that case. Bozorov now going for 190. Rusa Kusieva coming now. Bronze here in her own final at 61. Lifted 120 in that. Has lifted 130 in her career. That tremendous silver medal in Tokyo. Silver in the previous World Championships in Nur-Sultan. She's been Asian champion. 115 kilos for 100 points to keep Uzbekistan 1 in this final. Got it raised. Good lift. They still live. Didn't have to be like this, but she got the lift to keep Uzbekistan 1 in it. It's out of all their hands now. That's a really, really good lift. And 215.9 they finish on. Usmanov just missing out with his lift. Kusieva got hers, Umirzakov got his, and there's one more lift to come to wrap up the competition. That was a nice lift. Just got it through, kept it clean, that's all she had to do. It's interesting that Bozorov is going for 190. Again, he doesn't really need to go this high at all. It's worth 125 points. It would be worth the gold. Bozorov, likewise, a tremendous week, the former Paralympic bronze medalist. A pair of silvers in the 80 kilo final. He got every lift from 200 to 211. Silver in the best lift, silver in the total. And if he gets this, it's gold in the mixed team competition. Uzbekistan won on 215.9. Uzbekistan 2 currently on 207. And if he gets this, and I'll be shocked if he doesn't, it'll be Uzbekistan 2 who'll win on 333. He'd have gone heavier, he'd have gone for 200 had Usmanov got his lift, surely. Anyway, this for the gold for this Uzbekistan team. Akror Bozorov, 190. Oh, he's missed it! I don't believe it! On the stop sequence. Well, he'll look to get that appealed, maybe, if he can. He hasn't got it. And Uzbekistan 1 snatched the win. Well, a miss on both teams. And Uzbekistan 1. Umirzakov, Usmanov and Kusieva have won it. It's Uzbekistan against Uzbekistan here, so there won't be an appeal. How could they be? How could they appeal against their own side? Well, I am shocked. Watch the body sequence here. Something's gone badly wrong. The stop sequence on the chest. Well, that's amazing. And that is so unlucky. The stop sequence, the chest sequence went wrong for Bozorov. And it is a no lift, and Uzbekistan 1 beat Uzbekistan 2. $215 points against 207 in this Uzbek derby. The stop sequence around the chest is what did for Bozorov there. And, well, that is incredible. Uzbekistan 2, going for that lift and getting it would have been 333. Uzbekistan 1, if they had got all their lifts and not gone elsewhere, would have been 337. Ah, that's amazing. So it's gold for Uzbekistan 1. Rusa Kusieva, Farhod, Umirzakov and Kuznedin Uzmanov. Uzbekistan 2 in second place, Kudratoy, Toshpolatova, Sanjar Olaberganov and Akror Bozorov. Bronze for Thailand. And the only misses came right at the end of the competition, really. We had 39 lifts and 3 misses. Astonishing. What a final, I must say. Two great contests. What a very enjoyable competition, I must say. And here is the victory ceremony. Uzbekistan gets the gold and Uzbekistan get the silver. Thailand with the bronze. They're all happy. Why wouldn't they be?
The medals will be presented by Mayor of Pyeongtaek City, Jerry Suk-Jong. Accompanied by Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Asia Oceania Open Championship.
So the presentation party, the medals presented by Jung Jang Sun, the Mayor of Pyeongtaek, and the President of the Local Organising Committee, Jang Ho Chul. Bronze for Thailand, beating the United Arab Emirates in the bronze medal match, the third, fourth playoff. They got all the lifts throughout the competition, Butpo, Kasanun and Pong Sao. Pyeongtaek Pyeongtaek has already helped Thailand to silver in the men's team competition. Narong Kasanun, who was involved in the Thailand 2 team. They were beaten in their bronze medal match, but at least he gets a bronze now. And Arawon Butpo, who won silver for the Thailand women when they were beaten by Korea, but did well to reach the final. It's bronze for them here, beating the United Arab Emirates by 291 to 202. A tremendous competition. And Thailand get their major rewards. They get the medals and they get the mascots. Pyeongtaek. Uzbekistan to win the silver. Kudratoy, Toshpulitova, Sanjar Ulabeganov and Akror Bozarov. The future of Uzbek powerlifting looks very strong. Toshpulitova lifting 107. Ulabeganov 160. Bozarov going for 190 in the end, but not reaching it. Such a strong team, and they were on the brink of winning the gold, but they just missed their final lift. Uzbekistan's number 2 team finish in the number 2 position. Another fine prize for Toshpulitova, who did so well, winning silver in her weight division at 67. A couple of them, of course, a couple of silvers, now that there's extra medals to go for. And Uzbekistan's number 1 team finish in the number 1 position to get the gold medal. Kuznadin Usmanov, Farhod Umirzakov, and the very final lift of the competition for Rusa Kusieva. She had to get it 115 kilos, and she did, and was very close to her marks in her own individual competition, and that helped get Uzbekistan 1 over the line. Bozarov still had a lift to go to win gold for Uzbekistan too, but he missed it. She got hers, and Uzbekistan won get the gold. Umirzakov lifted 183, Usmanov missed out on 198. It is gold and silver for Uzbekistan in this mixed team competition. They had the 2 best scores in the heats. Uzbekistan too actually outscored the rest, 318 to 314. Same story in the semi-finals. Uzbekistan 2 scored exactly 318 again. Uzbekistan got 315. And the scores would have gone through the roof if they'd all been successful in this final. And what a final it has been. A fine prize for Uzbekistan, gold and silver, and here is their anthem. A great triumph for Uzbekistan as they win the gold and silver in this mixed team final. And Thailand get the bronze. Very enjoyable competition, 23 titles all told, 10 men, 10 women in the 3 team categories in what's been a very enjoyable, quite thrilling World Powerlifting Asia Oceania Open Championship in Pyeongtaek. And how marvellous to be the first event to open up this new Anjung Gymnasium. There'll be many great events held here in international sport. 4 years. What a triumph, what a final in the end as well. Uzbek derby to remember, and a week to remember as well. Hope you've enjoyed it. It has been an immense amount of fun. So in St. Louis in a month, we've got the Americas Championship, September, the Europeans in Tbilisi again in Georgia, and we have the African Championships in Egypt, which I think everybody's looking forward to. What a packed year. Closing ceremony will follow if you wish to join us for that. Certainly it has been a marvellous week here. It's been a competition that continues to go from strength to strength, and great to see very good crowds here during the week as well, I must say. For various sessions, it's been somewhat packed in Anjung. Good venue, good event, good competition. Quite a few world records, a lot of Asian records. Oceania records too. And what triumphs from these terrific athletes. This is where the action ends for the week. 6 fabulous days in Pyeongtaek. So the World Powerlifting Asia Oceania Open Championships are finished for 2022. Back again in 4 years' time. It's been a terrific week in Pyeongtaek in Korea. The pictures from SBS. Great job from them. It's been very enjoyable. And from Will Downing in Korea, it is Anna Young.